skit offers us a rare glimpse into what we think of the four founders of this Kensington Bedford exchange will be doing on Saturday night in heaven. Getting together with some old friends to enjoy a refreshing beverage while watching some hockey and telling a few stories. It can't get any better than this, can it? Your cast is Alex Chessman, played by Paul Chessman, Alex's son. Eric Jones, played by Wayne Murphy, 1976 alumni. Eric Jessom, played by Vernon Campbell, original team alumni. Rayburn Orr, played by Thane Clark, he's the ringer. Karen Slater will play the Hockey Angel. It was written by Wayne Murphy and directed by Elaine Chessman.
I'm going to try to make some traduction here about what he said. So, ça va être un sketch, so it's almost the same thing in French. C'est appelé Un soir de hockey au paradis. Dans le fond, ce sketch-là, ça va parler des rares moments d'un samedi soir des 4 fondateurs de l'échange Kensington-Bedford. Ils font ça un samedi soir in heaven. Dans le fond, le sketch va parler des rares moments qu'il y a eu de cette soirée-là. Puis le casting des gens qui vont performer, dans le fond, les gens qui vont performer vont impersoner les 4 personnes qui étaient incluses dans ces échanges-là. Paul Chessman va faire Alex Chessman. Wayne Murphy va faire Eric Jones. Vernon Campbell va faire Eric Jessom. Thane Clark va représenter Rayburn Orr. Et il y a aussi Karen Slater qui va faire le Hockey Angel. C'est écrit par Wayne Murphy et direct by Elaine Chessman. Place. So, bonjour.
Hello there, Rayburn Orr. How are things?
Hey, Rayburn Orr, I can't complain. Never get to that.
Hockey heaven. Does it get any better than this?
I'm getting a little tired of that one, but you know what? If I were to complain, it's that I can't decide what game to watch. I mean, here in hockey heaven, Rayburn Orr, we can watch any game that's ever been played.
That sounds like heaven to me.
Yeah. Seriously, knock it off. Here, you pick one.
Okay. Well, we got NHL, World Juniors, Olympic.
Backyard hockey, pond hockey,
Amateur hockey, hockey tournaments.
women's hockey, Swedish hockey. Hey, you suppose you got some of that Swedish bikini hockey?
Sorry. Okay, let's see.
Jonesy, you can't be serious. You're full of shit. Old hockey socks.
That's better.
Look, all I'm saying is that Guy Fleur in his day had a better shot than Connor McDavid has now. Look, give me the remote, I'll show you.
No, I'll show you.
No, every time you get here, you're arguing. Do you even care if we stay on the good side of the Hockey Angel? Come on, let's pick something together.
All right, Olympic goal.
NHL.
No, you can't.
No,
NHL. Montreal's playing Boston. An easy 2 points.
That's right. Hand it over.
He started it.
No, he started it. He said the Guy Lafleur had a...
That's enough. So, you can't agree on what to watch. Is that just what's going to happen here? That's unfriggin' believable. Do you guys know what's going to happen this weekend?
Ron McLean gets Don Cherry in a headlock?
It is the 50th anniversary of the Kensington Kensington Bedford Hockey Exchange.
No way!
Would I lie? Now, don't you think you might like to watch some of the old games and relive some great memories?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, get into that, for sure.
Right. Here, then. And you guys, behave.
Hey, can I get a beer?
Yeah, it's been 50 years.
He's got a call for a beer.
Please?
There's the magic word. All right, I'll go fetch some beer.
Et n'oubliez pas les nachos à la crème sûre.
I heard that. Combien de beer, Monsieur Jones? Un, deux, trois. Trois beer, eh?
Non, quatre bières, s'il vous plaît.
S'il vous plaît.
Can you believe the Kensington Bedford Exchange has been going for 50 years?
50 ans, ça fait longtemps.
Oui, je sais.
I think the whole thing started with you, Alex, and you too, Rayburn, didn't it?
Yeah, I guess it did, yeah. I was managing the Seabrooks plant in New Annan, Cavendish Farms now, and I moved to manage a plant in Bedford.
And I took over for you in New Annan, and I even bought your house.
That's right. Yeah, and we were talking about life in Kensington and life in Bedford, and how the two teams were so similar during the winter months.
I remember the first team, we took the train all the way to Montreal and then went right to the old Montreal Forum.
Yeah, and that first team that first year was coached by Edwin Johnson, and George McKay, I think, was the assistant coach. Right?
Oh, how could I forget that? Those two jokers went to a Montreal Canadiens game and missed the banquet in Bedford. I wasn't too impressed.
Ah, c'est difficile de t'impressionner.
Yeah, there was a lot of phone calls and a lot of organizing, but we did it.
Yeah, we had a lot of help that year, and the past 50 years too.
Yeah, the Kensington Legion, the New London Complex, the K-Town Club.
And the people from the community pitched in too. Remember Earl Clark and Alfred Walt?
Yeah.
Made sure that all of the parents had new hats, and the players, they all had new toques to match their jackets. Remember those old orange and blue jackets? I tell you, Henrietta Waugh and Rona Burt sure went through it all the yard.
Yeah. And les gens de Bedford, they all pitched in. You know, it was a community thing. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of fun times and great memories made in Bedford. And good times at the Riverview Motel and the Pigeonaire in Farnham. Stories we could tell.
Pigeonaire, eh? And remember, what's her name? Elsie at the Legion, eh? Maybe in Phillipsburg. Oh, she sure poured us a lot of beer. You know, speaking of serving beer.
Speaking of serving beer.
Honestly.
Thanks, Angel.
We'll see him around.
There. You deprive an angel to drink. You know that?
Elle aura de porter un masque de goaler comme Jacques Comte. Elle ne pourrait pas boire ma bière et elle aurait l'air plus jolie.
Yeah, oui, je sais. Okay.
What'd you say about the angel?
I said she should wear a goalie mask like Jacques Plante so she couldn't be drinking my beer. Might improve her looks too.
Remember how special all of the players from Bedford and Kensington felt? Like they were celebrities. Like they got the new jackets, the new toques. Their teacher would send them, give them some money. They'd even get a few bucks from their old great aunt.
Oh, yeah. But when you're going to Bedford, the money's just flying, right? Mom and Dad always slide you a few extra dollars, right? Your neighbor would give you money. You always got a new stick, usually a new kit bag. I'm telling you, it felt pretty special. Thought you're in the NHL.
I remember when we first started flying from Charlotte down to Montreal. Man, those kids were some wound up. It was usually the first flight for the most of them.
Yeah.
And there was always one young fella whose hormones was flying higher than the plane.
Who was that kid?
The fella sitting beside Miss Community Garden.
Well, I remember the fuss that the Kensington boys made with a few French girls.
Yeah.
Usually a sister of one of the Bedford guys.
Oh, yeah. Who was it? Blair Campaign one time. He asked me how to say something. And he wanted to impress this girl. There's a cute French girl down at the end boards, and she was looking through the glass. And he came over and he asked me to say, oh, what was it? What do you want to tell her? Oh, yeah, that she had pretty eyes. Yeah.
How'd you say that?
Well, we rehearsed it a little bit, and he's right into it. He's paying attention this time. So he gets it, and yeah, so okay. So he locks it in. He goes right over to her, and he says, Tu as des yeux aussi bleus que le camion, mon oncle. Your eyes as blue as my uncle's truck.
Yeah, you know, the language used to be a bit of a problem back then, but we got around it.
Yeah, well, the kids today probably use Google Translate and hand their phones back and forth. Times are changing. I mean, it's 50 years.
Yeah.
But the language never seemed to be a problem. I mean, it certainly didn't get in the way of some beautiful friendships. I mean, the hospitality and the warmth, it's amazing. I mean, the stories, the laughs, the drink, the food.
The hockey.
Oh, that too. Yeah. I mean, there were some great games and lots of talented players. That's, where's that remote at? Oh, whoa! That Bedford defenseman's got a wicked slap shot.
Hey, that's the Burlap Bombers.
They're not kids.
Kids that hurt, that's for sure.
What's on their sweat? What are they wearing? Habit. Nush, they're wearing potato bags.
Watch that language, Eric Jones.
Look, it's Mac McLean, and he heads it up to Jerry Joseph Jinxie Valentine McDonald. McDonald's got the back now, and he's over to Bill the Thrill Sample. Samples up the icy streets over the blue line, and he winds up for the big shot. And Sample, he's flat on his face. I mean, the man is utterly horizontal. Now Bedford has the puck, and they're skating circles around the PEI potato bags, who are in the bag. And Bedford's coming down to the other end. They're over the line. The Bedford player winds up for the big shot, but the Kensington goaltender, Wira McKay, he never even saw the puck. And as the buzzer sounds, it's going to be 12-2 for the Bedford team. But the Kensington team, they are grinning from ear to ear. And the biggest grin of all, it's on the coach's face, that famous grin of Claire Mayhew.
I remember that game. Walter Campbell wanted us to pull the goalie in the first period. He says, what's a goal or two or 10 between friends?
It's all about the friendships, eh? Hey, you remember when Jerry met Christine?
Oh, I remember that. When he first laid eyes on her, I knew he was a goner. And then when we get back to the rink in Kensington, every time the phone rang in the office, he'd run to get it in case it was Christine calling.
Well, they've been together for a long time now. And more recently, Chickie and Don Thompson got a thing going, I tell you. And those Bedford women pour on the charm, look out.
A lot of charming characters make the trip over the years. Boys, and Glenn Prophet hardly missed a year.
Yeah, and Lee Campbell. Walter Campbell, Wirmanidi McKay, Eldon Dale Johnson, Ron Gill.
Des Womer, Steve Miller, Keith, Stormy, Swarmberger, and Marcel Béchard, Gordy Callahan, and the mayor, Donald Patano, Dale, Trip.
Even Jerry McCarville went a couple of times, right? And, Bob Bonus, you can't forget him. Didn't he coach the Kensington team for a couple of years?
A couple? How about 6? And Mac McLean can't be far behind him. Then, of course, there was Jerry McDonald, Dave Martin, Garth Waugh coach, too.
Ches Boudelier, Eddie Doucette, Rudy Crokin, Peter McClellan, they all coached over here.
Oh, yeah, and Michel Paquette, and Jean-Yves Dubois, Earl Turner, and Gilles Rioux, they all coached for Bedford.
More recently, Brian Weeks coached for Kensington, who's got a giant Bedford Kensington tattoo on his shoulder.
Really?
Yeah.
A tattoo?
A tattoo.
That is cool!
Oh, shit.
You know, this is like the 50th anniversary. What if this year's players got tattoos on their shoulder? Yeah. On peut avoir un tatou sur l'épaule, un rondelle avec le numéro 50 écrit dans le centre. Et deux hockey, 2 attentes croisés. Un avec Kensington et l'autre avec Bedford. Ah, c'est cool, hein, un tattoo.
Who's getting a tattoo?
Well, somebody thought it might be a good idea, or cool, if this year's players got a tattoo.
12 and 13-year-olds getting a tattoo. Whose bright idea was that?
Well, I'm not pointing any fingers, but...
I might have known. How did you make it here to hockey heaven?
Tu veux savoir comment je suis arrivé ici, au paradis de hockey?
Oui.
Vous ne pouvez pas m'envoyer en bas. Pouvez-vous, dans la grande banque de punition souterraine?
No. Once you make it to hockey heaven, you're here to stay. I can't send you back. Unfortunately.
Oh, so I don't have to be so nice? Like these nice wings? Where'd you get those? Buffalo? No, I know. Detroit. Yeah. Used to belong to Gordy Howe. No, I know. Terrible Ted Lindsay.
I do, however, have friends in high places.
Yeah, I'm just joking. I'm joking. Really. C'était juste un gars.
Hey, where's Claire Mead?
He's playing hockey. You know, here in hockey heaven, you guys can get off your duffel bags, play anytime you want. Claire's out in the ice right now, with a bunch of his old buddies. Hey, there's Walter Campbell, Elmer Burt, Gerald Maine. Here, have a look for yourself.
Oh, yeah, right. There's Gordy Callahan, Steve Miller, and Wes Gage.
And there's, how come we don't wear their old numbers?
Oh, there's no numbers here in hockey heaven. Everybody's equal. We're all here for the love of the game.
Well, there's somebody down there that has something on their sweater. Yeah, that's a number. Here he comes, look. Yep, right there, look. Number 9, numéro 9.
That's Jesus. Put a pair of skates on him and he thinks he's Maurice Richard.
Hey, do you think you could have a word with the folks upstairs to see if maybe the Leafs couldn't win the cup?
Been 50 years for them too. You're gonna have to talk to number 9 out there. Run it past him.
Hey, 4 bières, s'il vous plaît. No, non, 5 bières, s'il vous plaît. Une bière pour mon ange préféré, peut-être?
Une bière sur ta tête, peut-être.
Hey, remember that trick that Tommy Glenn used to do where he'd stand on his head and drink a glass of water? Remember that?
Yeah.
Now, what was that trick they used to play up in Bedford where, you know, they used an axe and a coin? How did that go? There was an axe and a coin and
I'm gonna get this block of wood.
right,
And a hatchet.
right,
And a coin.
and a coin, and
And a hatchet.
yeah, and a coin.
And a coin. Hey, come on, Jonesy, how you doing here?
I don't have a clue what you're talking about.
That's right. You don't have a clue, do you?
Nice to see
Nice
you.
to see you, Eric. Jessup, not Jones. But I need a volunteer. Eric. Jones, not Jessup.
Oh, I don't know. Okay.
Who's got a quarter?
I do. Sometimes I tip her. She calls me Eric Good.
That's only if you keep that cigar in your pocket. All right.
What do you call me?
Oh, I have all kinds of names for you. But right now, you're a volunteer. Now take your socks off.
My socks? Pourquoi do I have to take my socks off? Ce sont mes bas préférés. I mean, I haven't taken my socks off.
Just take your fluffy socks off. It's so you don't slip. Socks and an axe don't go together.
Okay.
All right, kneel down there on the floor. Kneel! There's the quarter.
All right.
Here's the axe.
Okey-doke.
All right, you're gonna have 2 tries.
2.
Yeah, well, all right, 3.
Okay.
Okay. Close your eyes.
Ugh. Oh, what's that? Smell that? It smells like a wet dog. Ça sent les chiens mouillés. Oh, les chiens morts.
Eric Jones, that's enough. Now, what you have to do now is you have to cut the quarter in 2 with the axe. Are you
All right.
ready?
Hang on there.
Get her lined up.
Okay, how am I doing? Is that-
Just great.
Okay.
All right. 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
All right, everybody, I'm gonna need some help. Everybody. 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
One more.
Okay.
1, 2, 3.
Okay, did I do it? J'ai coupé le tronçon avec.
Really close.
Okay.
Almost.
Yeah.
Now, one more time, and put your back into it.
Okey-doke.
Oh. All right. What did I tell you? Socks and an axe don't go together. Good that is. Unless you plan on taking that cigar out of your pocket and lighting it anytime soon.
She got to be cray-cray. How did I make it bad? How did she make it bad?
Gee whiz, I don't know. Who has more fun, the parents or the kids? Well, I remember a couple of times, the parents and the players went to a Montreal Canadiens practice. They wanted to catch some souvenir pucks, right? Even some of them got to talk to Yvon Lambert and Ray-Jean Houle.
Yeah? Well, we had John Ferguson and Gum Worsley at our house for supper one night. They even stayed over. Our son Paul, oh, he was so excited. Our Paul, he turned into a fine young man, too.
Sounds a lot like my son Scott.
Yeah, Paul, he was great. You know, good looking, hard working, salt of the earth kind of guy, charming, debonair. In fact, I heard You'd have been a good James Bond. Did I say good looking?
Yeah, what about handballs? You need any work in that department?
No, I think
Yeah, good. Anyway, then I can still almost taste the great food we had during those Bedford weekends. Kind of worked out well how our March visits were perfect timing for checking out the maple syrup cabins in the woods. That was sweet.
Oh, yeah. Et je me souviens comment les gens de Kensington étaient impressionnés par le cochon qui avait une pomme dans la bouche.
Oh,
Hey, Ray.
we should say.
I remember the Kensington players always had to buy firecrackers when they were up there. It was a big deal for them. And then for the week after they get back, all the parking lots around Kensington and the rink just sounded like Robert Montgomery's field on the opening day of Goose.
Et j'ai vu une fois Muriel jeter et sauter dans une banque de neige à cause d'une guitare à main. Et ce n'était pas Claude ni Alain, non, c'est un adulte qui se présente pour un enfant.
Ah oui, je sais.
Pourquoi as-tu le même réponse à tout ce que j'ai dit?
Oui, je sais.
I thought it was great when the girls started to participate in the exchange. The girls are awesome. I remember up in Bedford, the big toboggan hill there, the girls were having a hell of a time. And a lot of those girls were wives and mothers. You know, boys or girls. 12, 13 is a great age for the first hockey adventure.
Yeah.
And there was none of that signing of forms to stay in someone's house or go on an excursion. We trusted each other back then, and we still do. Any Kensington person in Bedford, or Bedford person in Kensington, they are part of the community.
Oh, yeah.
It's like the ice storm back in '98, when Ron Gill got together with a bunch of people to raise money to bring the Bedford team down. Or, if you're a Kensington person in Bedford in Montreal in a bit of a bind, you don't have to get home. You just have to get to Bedford.
That's right. Yeah. You know, family relations, that's what it's all about, eh? Like the Murphys and the Jetties. And the mayors of Kensington and Bedford, they had some great relationships. And all the summertime visits and the hockey tournaments at the Legion, you know, up in Bedford. And, I mean, that's all great stuff. And Miss Murphy tells me the story of how it was, I think it was a Friday night or something, and the phone rang, and it was Lloyd Beerworth, the guy that he had stayed with 30 years earlier when he was in Bedford. Anyways, he was on PEI with his family. I think he was in Cavendish, right smack dab in the middle of the tourist center, and right smack dab in the middle of the tourist season. I think it was July, probably the middle of July. Anyways, couldn't get a hotel room, right? So this might have been before cell phones, I guess. You probably wouldn't have looked that up on the internet. So, because now you probably, Google and look ahead and see if there was space or something. So he made the call, and long story short, he and his family wound up staying with Mitch and Anne-Marie for 3 days. I mean, that's the kind of bond that we build up over the decades.
Yep, decades.
Yep.
You know what the best part of that story was?
What?
It's where you say long story short. Anyway, the original team players are their grandfathers now. I mean, it's going on 3 generations for the Kensington Bedford exchange. That's 50 years. That's got to be some kind of record.
Oh yeah, I heard it's the longest hockey exchange in history. Dr. Heard, it's going to go in the Guinness Book of World Records. Quite a hockey story. I'm just glad I was part of it.
You should be glad. You should be proud, Alec. You and Rayburn. You know what you guys started? It's like the old saying goes. That was the beginning of a beautiful friendship.
It's a big part of my life. A lot of fond memories.
More to come.
Come on, guys. Group hug, eh?
Oh,
Come on. Tout le monde ensemble pour un gros câlin. Hein? Come on. 50 ans d'amitié.
And hockey.
Thanks, Angel.
Thank you, Angel.
Thank you, Angel.
All right, everybody.
They don't want to.
No.
I said group hug.
Right, so no feedback from the Alright, let's lean in here, people. Okay. How about 50 ans? 50 ans de hockey et de joie, les insulaires et les Québécois. OK, tout le monde Bedford, j'ai besoin d'un peu d'aide. 1, 2, 3. 50 ans de hockey et de joie, les insulaires et les Québécois.
Everybody's got to join in. Come on.
50 ans de hockey et de joie, les insulaires et les Québécois.
Friendship, hockey, love and cheer.
Kensington, Bedford, 50 more years. Okay, everybody. 50 years, 50 ans. Nous devrions tout être fiers et reconnaissants de partager une amitié aussi longue et profonde.
Cheers.
Et nous souhaitons plusieurs autres années de fun et de beaux souvenirs. Thank you very much, everyone. Merci et bonsoir.